Hello everyone, I'm James Milan. Happy 2026 to you all and welcome to the Town Hall Update, the first of the year. Today we are joined as always by Jim Feeney, our town manager, and we've got, no surprise, a whole bunch of stuff to go through as always. We're going to hear about the upcoming 38th annual Martin Luther King Jr. birthday observation at Town Hall. And then how the town fared, how they scored in the most recent Municipal Equality Index, what the book is for this year's Arlington Reads Together program. We'll get a reminder that we are in flu season. Probably a lot of you know that already. We'll welcome a new animal control officer, and also we will acknowledge the work of the Public Works Water Division for fixing a spate of water main breaks recently. But Jim, where should we start?
Thank you, James. I think we should start with a quick reminder about the census mailing that should have landed in folks' mailboxes this past week. So just want folks to know that that is very important data for us as a local government. When we're applying for grants, much of those funds are tied directly to population numbers. So us having accurate census data proves very helpful in the long run in terms of introducing outside dollars into Arlington. And especially because the census tracks this information by age, it can help with long-range planning, such as student enrollment planning. Think about, for example, like how many kindergartners are we going to have in the coming year or something along those lines. And that data is really one of the things that can be parsed to try to arrive at those projections. Also, returning that census mailing keeps the voter list up to date. So if you don't return the census, then you'll be listed as an inactive voter, and then you'll get a postcard in the mail over the summer so that then they have to confirm your address and become an active voter again. So you can certainly save time and paper by returning your census now the first time. Also included in the census mailing this year is information on how to request a mailed ballot for the election. We are not going to mail directly an application postcard to all households. We're making use of this townwide mailing. So if you want to vote by mail ballot, you will need to request one. Information, again, is in the census mailing and also on the election page of the town's website. And finally, in that census mailing is information on the annual survey by Envision Arlington. The survey asks a variety of questions to gauge resident sentiment on various topics relevant to the town and our residents. And that deadline is February 13th, so still some time to participate in the annual survey.
I will just say, got the annual survey or the census in my mailbox, along with a whole bunch of stuff that I don't care about, right? So great that you would bring this to everybody's attention and also give the really good, solid reasons why people should be responding for their own sake as well as for the sake of the town. So well done. And again, toss all that other stuff aside, but pay attention to the census mailing and get it back. All right, we are coming up on January 19th this year, which is the day on which we will observe Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Would you please tell us about that?
Sure. So as you noted, Monday the 19th is, in fact, it's a holiday at Town Hall, so Town Hall offices will be closed. I will note that trash will still be collected on Monday, but more importantly, the public is welcome to the 38th annual celebration of the life and significance of civil rights pioneer Martin Luther King Jr. So annually we have an event at Town Hall in the auditorium. It will be on Monday at 6:30 p.m. at Town Hall. This year's keynote speaker will be author Jackie Jenkins Scott, the first African-American president of Wheelock College. We will have musical guests, the People's Baptist Church Male Chorus, directed by Marcia Scott, and it will be a great event, as it always is, and we invite folks to visit the MLK Junior Committee's website, which is arlingtonmamlk.org to learn more, but we hope to see you there on Monday.
Great. Yes, if you could be there, be there. It's a special event. If you can't, don't worry. ACMi will be live streaming, as we always do, the event in case you can't be there. All right. Also, every year there is a Municipal Equality Index, and tell us what the scoop is this year with Arlington.
Sure. So this is Arlington's 7th year participating. We are again an all-star city. So this is an initiative of the Human Rights Campaign Foundation annually, where they rate different cities and towns on the Municipal Equality Index, or MEI. What this does is examine how inclusive municipal laws, policies, and services are in respective cities and towns across the country, and how they support their LGBTQIA+ residents and communities within their boundaries. So as I mentioned, this is our 7th year participating. I'm pleased to report in 2025 that Arlington scored 97 out of a possible 100. So, great job to the community. We've obviously done this by creating and maintaining inclusive policies and practices. And it takes a lot of people to put into practice. And there are many people who work to make Arlington an inclusive community. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge Ramsha Baloch, who leads our DEI division, as well as a number of other town and school staff who participate in this process. Especially need to call out our Rainbow Commission, who is very active in the community and puts on some excellent events. But there's also, of course, a number of community members working together to make Arlington inclusive for all. So we should, as we always are, be proud of this result and continue to strive to achieve this result year after year.
All right. I mean, you just mentioned how folks effectively work together, and we also effectively read together every year. The month of March is devoted to a community read. Tell us what the book is for this year's Arlington Reads Together.
It's a great transition. The annual community read program is indeed upon us. Arlington Reads Together. This year's selected title will be Klara and the Sun by Nobel laureate in literature winner Kazuo Ishiguro. So it's a science fiction novel that explores love, AI, and what it means to be human. So that book is available for checkout at both the Fox and Robbins libraries, and you can also download the ebook or audiobook online. So centered around that book will be an array of events in the month of March that will allow our residents and participants to engage around the book and its related themes. Since 2003, the Arlington Reads Together program has been bringing Arlingtonians together around a book with various types of discussions, presentations, and more. And this year will be no different. In fact, I'm confident that this year, given the timely topics outlined in the book, we'll bring folks together to do just that. And we invite everyone to explore the Robbins Library website to learn more.
Yeah, every year the theme that's explored through Arlington Reads Together is always resonant with lots and lots in the community. But you're sure right that this year it seems spot on for our local zeitgeist and the larger one for sure. Okay, let's move on. We had mentioned the flu earlier. We're down a couple of staff members here this week at ACMi. I'm sure everybody is hyper aware of flu season here. You've got a couple of tips.
Sure, and right, I'm not going to be offering any tips that people haven't heard before, but I think the important part, as you just noted, is just acknowledging and reminding our residents that there are ways to prevent the spread of illness, but also that here in town, we are definitely experiencing high levels of influenza activity. So it's here. There are, of course, other respiratory illnesses in the community, but please know it's out there, it's circulating. There's been many cases in the community, so now's the time. Wash those hands frequently, soap and water. Stay home when you're sick. Cover coughs and sneezes. Consider wearing a mask in crowded settings. And stay up to date on vaccinations, both flu and COVID-19. Like those, we have things we can do, and just wanted to remind folks that it's here and it's spreading, so now's the time to take these measures.
Good enough. All right. Most of what we've talked about today has to do with things that occur each year, et cetera. We've got something new, something that doesn't happen too often, and we've got a new animal control officer in town.
And the animal control officer always seems to become one of the most popular employees in the community, given their sort of public-facing presence and their, being called to all sorts of events. So I want to welcome our new animal control officer. Her name is Michelle Parsons. Interestingly, she is the 2025 valedictorian of the Animal Control Officer Academy of Massachusetts.
Really?
And she is also a certified wildlife rehabilitator, so eminently qualified to take this position. So obviously it's a very important role in the community. It's very public facing, so I'm pleased to report that the Arlington Police Department will be hosting a meet and greet with ACO Parsons on Wednesday, January 21st from 4 to 5:30 p.m. in the community room at the police department at 112 Mystic Street. So take the opportunity to come down to the police department, come meet ACO Parsons in person, and learn more about her role here in the community.
Great. Yeah, and congratulate the valedictorian. Wow, that's quite something. Yeah. Okay, I have to say, moving through town these last couple of days, it's been hard to ignore the fact that there have been different kind of water-related emergencies being dealt with.
It is always this time of year when you start to see significant temperature changes and the impacts those have on the ground, where it's freezing cold and that lasts for a while and the ground gets very solid, and then we see this period of time where temperature is rapidly warm in the middle of winter and you see a lot of ground movement. That can oftentimes lead to water main breaks as there is shifting and settling underground. So as you alluded to, and as I'm sure people have noticed, the trucks out there in the community, while it's certainly the worst time of year to be out working, oftentimes in the cold, in the dark, standing in pools of water, and just want to take a moment to thank the fact that we have a very dedicated team of professionals in our water division that answer those calls 24/7, 365. There were 2 of those calls, I believe, yesterday. One of them didn't wrap up until probably 10:30 or 11 o'clock last night. It happened right over here in the Heights. When we get a report of a water main break, it is always a challenge, right? You arrive on a street and it's essentially flooded, right? You have to work on first trying to go to various valves in the area and try to isolate that section of town. And it's not like being in a house and just going to the one valve that you have. There are valves in all different locations that control different things. Some of them are aging, and then hopefully that hones in on where it is, and then they have to start doing excavations. Sometimes it's exploratory, trying to find exactly where the actual break on the underground pipe occurred, because the water may appear somewhere different than where the break occurred. And this is usually all happening in cold, in darkness, in the wind, in very wet conditions. So, it is a very challenging task, but no matter what, when they get a call for a break, they work it until it's fixed. Generally will take between 4 and 8 hours, but sometimes they can extend well beyond that. I think one of them yesterday, did extend beyond that due to the nature of the pipe they were working on. We do have some aging infrastructure here in town for sure. So if you haven't seen the trucks, maybe you got the phone call or the text message or the email. Water main breaks are something that I want to remind folks we use our Arlington emergency alert system for. So if you did not, if it impacted you yesterday in your neighborhood, but you did not receive an alert, please feel free to go to our website and sign up for Arlington Alerts so that you will get an update that you are being, we can draw sort of a little geofence around the area that we believe to be impacted, and we can send a targeted phone call, text, and email message to the contacts we have for residents who live in those areas to let them know what it is that has transpired and what it is they may be able to expect moving forward. So It's a great tool that we have, and I always encourage folks to sign up for it so you can be in the know about something that's going to impact you greatly.
Yeah, we often take the opportunity, you often take the opportunity in these updates to do shout outs to different divisions of the Department of Public Works, but with good reason. And folks do remember, these guys are out there dealing with the conditions and the situations that Jim has just thoroughly described. Let's treat them with respect. Let's try and stay patient for whatever, hassle it occurs in our cars or whatever, and just maybe even appreciate them. I'm sure they would appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've been speaking with Jim Feeney. We've been hearing from Jim Feeney, our town manager, with, again, a boatload of information, really all of it useful, from the census at the beginning to the DPW, what the DPW water guys are dealing with at the end. Jim has delivered, as always, just a ton of useful information. We appreciate him doing so. We appreciate you taking the time to be here with us as well. It's a new year, but we are happy to welcome back both Jim Feeney and the Town Hall update, and we look forward to many more over the balance of the year. Thanks for joining us. I'm James Milan. On behalf of Jim Feeney and the town, we'll see you next time.